Hello, second grade friends. We are going to start a new math unit called geometry. So geometry is the study of shapes. So we're going to start by working on some vocabulary. So what I'd like you to do is get a piece of paper and you can get a pencil. I'm going to use a marker just because it's a little bit easier to see, but you could use a pen or a marker too. I don't mind. And we're just going to start with putting geometry on your paper, and then I'm going to have you do some drawing with me. So let's start by making this shape right here. I bet you know this one. That is a rectangle, right? But what I want to do are label things. So these things right here are called the sides. Sides make up line segments that meet, and they form the outline of it. Now these things right here are called angles. And the angles on a rectangle, they are called right angles, which means they're 90 degrees to show that they're like perfect little squares. So to show that they're 90 degrees and perfect little squares, you can put these little boxes in to show that they're perfect. So those are 4 angles. So there's 4 sides and 4 angles. Now these sides are actually parallel. So parallel means it's kind of like a train track where the lines go like this and they are never going to cross. They're not going to get closer together. They're not going to get farther away. They're always the same length apart. So these sides right here are parallel, and these sides right here, I'll do double lines, right here are parallel too. Now parallel is a kind of a tricky word to spell, right? So let's do it together. P-A-R-A-L-L-E-L. So parallel lines, there are 2 sides that are opposite. They never cross. All right, so this is an example of a 2D shape. Have any idea what the D stands for? 2D. It's two-dimensional. So 2D means it's a flat shape. It's not something that you could pick up and hold. It's just flat. But there are other shapes called 3D shapes, 3D, and they are ones that you could pick up and hold. So we're going to try and do this rectangle again. Draw this with me. We're going to make it 3D. So I made my rectangle. I'm going to do another rectangle, kind of offset it like that, a little further, like that. And I'm going to connect the corners, and it's going to make me, there we go. This is a 3D shape. It's called a rectangular prism, but we'll get to that later. All right, now 3D shapes have some other vocabulary words. So they have, this is, let's see, where do I want to start? This right here is an edge. It's kind of where the lines come together, the faces come together, which brings me up to each side of it has a face, just like you have a face. Has face, a face, a face, a face, a face, and then faces on all the sides. So it's the flat surface. Flat surface. All right, these are the edges. So it's where line segments where the faces meet. Where the faces meet. All right. And remember how we called these were the angles up here? They have angles too, but they have special words for 3D. These are called vertices. I always tell kids that remember your vertice. Like if you have your elbow, you pinch the vertice. All right, this is a tricky word too. Vertice, V-E-R-T-I-C-E-S. Vertices. It's a point where two sides or edges meet. All right, so 2D, 3D, sides, four angles. These particular angles are right angles, so they have a perfect square in the corner. These two sides are parallel, which means they'll never cross. These two sides are parallel, they'll never cross. On our 3D shape, we have the face. So on this one, let's see, how many faces would there be? 1 on the top, 2 on the bottom, 3 on the side, 4 on the other side, 5 in the front, 6 in the back. So this would have 6 faces. Let's see, how many vertices would it have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 vertices. All right, so today we're going to practice drawing some 2D shapes. So I'm going to give you an assignment for you to do. So after this lesson, you're going to turn off the computer. You're going to draw me a picture. So you can do, this was just one that I did. So I took, to tell you the truth, I could not find a ruler. So that might be your problem too. But what I did have was a box of mac and cheese. So I kind of used my box of mac and cheese. You could use a box of anything really, or just a flat piece of cardboard or something you can cut up. I just used this and I used it to make my sides straight. So I want you to draw me a picture. I want you to see if you can draw a picture using shapes. So, you know, normally if I was drawing a sun, I'd make it maybe a little bit like wavy lines, but that means I wouldn't be able to use my shapes. So I've got circles, I've got rectangles, I've got squares, I've got triangle. This 5 shape right here, this is called a pentagon. So I want you to draw a picture. You could draw a picture of something that you make up in your head. It could be the circus or a farm or flowers or really anything. And I want you to draw me a picture. You could color it in later when you're done. But once you have your picture done, then we're going to make a little graph. So there's my picture. Now I put down circle, square, rectangle, triangle. I also had a 5 shape, was called a pentagon. So I'm going to look at my picture and see how many of those shapes I had. So I had 1, 2, 3, 4 circles. I had, how many squares did I have? 1, 2, 3, 4 squares. Rectangles, I have a bunch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 triangles, just one, and 1 pentagon. Okay, so after I've done that, I can make myself a graph. So I'm going to label my graph picture shapes. Okay. Now I can do circle. Whoop, move it up a little. Square. Rectangle. Triangle. Pentagon. All right. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, to get to 16, I'm gonna have to go pretty small. Maybe I should have done it on a separate page. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Sure enough, separate page would have been better. Try that again. Live lesson here, kids. Live lesson. All right, let's try that again. Picture shapes. All right, so again, we have circle, triangle, rectangle, square, pentagon. All right, so my circle, I had, oops, I gotta label it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, whoop, 16, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. All right, so I had 4, 1, 16, 4 squares, and 1 pentagon. All right, kids, so that's your assignment. I want you to see what kind of picture you can do after you've practiced your vocabulary and see if you can make me a graph. Off you go.